that fine line between being nervous and excited. Some would call it nervous excitement. That's quite literally what I have for these last 3 episodes of the Internet Invitational. This thing has been an absolute behemoth, like absolutely everywhere, all the time. The videos of the Internet Invitational itself, my reaction videos, the commentary, the community commentary, I mean, like people in comments, like it's been insane. There are so many stories that we've covered, and there are 2 more massive stories on the way that we are going to dissect just a little bit more today. I kind of feel like Goldilocks and the 7 Bears. You know, I think Goldilocks is one where there was like a breadcrumb trail and she kept following it and she found the bears, I think. I don't know, but I feel like I'm just getting served breadcrumbs here. I'm getting little drippy, breadcrumbs, and as soon as I get a new breadcrumb, guess what I do? I pull up my phone, my mic, my camera, my computer, and I get on here and I talk to the people because I am building this channel by the people, for the people. I'm a YouTube golf fan just like you. I just happen to have great relationships with all the creators, and they tell me stuff that I can tell you guys sometimes, and it's very exciting. So anyway, we're going to dive right into it. We have lots to talk about. Let's Joe. Let's hop over. I'm going to pop this up on the screen here real quick. The Internet Invitational episode 4 comes out tomorrow, Thursday, November 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern on Foreplay channel. And then we have the final 2 episodes, episode 10 and episode 13, coming out next Monday and next Thursday. Now, I said this in my last video in case you missed it. Thursday, from everything I've gathered, there's going to be a massive upping of the stakes for what Dave's been doing with this whole like gambling thing of like getting people to like, you know, flip on their teammates. Like, I really think it's going to start. I personally think it's going to have, and I listened to Foreplay and Bob to Sports yesterday. Bob to Sports went on Foreplay's podcast, and they talked about realizing during the process of making this, and when Dave was starting to suggest format ideas, how much Dave really liked the Surviving Barstool method. And the Surviving Barstool method, if you guys haven't seen it, is their version of Survivor, where they put a bunch of their co-workers in an office together, locked them in there for like a week, and basically played out Survivor. And they were like split into teams, and then they did competitions, and they vote each other out, and they were resplit into teams, and it was like this whole thing. So this Thursday, so tomorrow, the upping of the ante is almost in the fashion of like, let's get people to flip on their teams. Let's get this like inter-team drama. That's what I'm speculating. Like, obviously I've heard chirps and murmurs that this episode is going to be, the stakes are going to be upped and up and up. And you could even see that. Like, even if I didn't get told that, I would predict that based off the last one, because Dave went from $28,000 offer to the second last team to the last team. George and Chaz offered them $100,000 to go play the hole again, risk losing the point, but potentially win $100,000. That's just going to go up. I said in my last video, I wouldn't be surprised if it got up to $500,000. People are calling me crazy, but like, I could legitimately see Dave getting so irritated if people aren't taking it that maybe he goes up to like close to $1 million. Like, the goal of that is not even to like get people the money. It's to make people flip on their team and to make the teams really pissed and to create juice and drama. Like, Dave is like the puppet master here, sitting here pulling all the strings and getting people to do things they would not normally do. That adds such an edge to the show. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The most exciting episode so far was the first episode, and it's because it had this crazy edge of this Luke Kwan story and then the fallout of it and the way it impacted the teams and people being upset about the impact of the teams. And I said this in my last video, I don't think someone's going to do something like Luke Kwan where they just sleep in and whatever. I think the reason why it's going to be bigger drama than Luke Kwan is because I think it's going to be something that was an intentional decision by somebody. Somebody intentionally made a decision that hurt their team, and that's caused at least one of the 2 big pieces of drama. And I think that's going to start in Thursday's episode. I would not be surprised if Thursday's episode ends in like a massive cliffhanger. Anyways, let's go over. This is a clip that surfaced yesterday on Wake Up Barstool. I want to play it for you. We're going to listen to it, then we're going to react to it.
We are a face-to-face conflict organization. A lot of the guys involved, women involved, not so much. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've said this since we filmed and wrapped the Internet Invitational. People aren't even going to, this is going to be a bleep. Luke Kwan will be a non-factor in what people remember from the Invitational by the time it's over. It just ramps up when it's one of the best things we've ever done. And things kept breaking. Everything kept coming up Dave Portnoy. Like, I couldn't believe what was being handed to me on the golf course. We are a face-to-face
Okay, let's go through this thing one at a time. So
conflict organization. A lot of the guys involved, women involved, not so much. And
so I've talked about this before. Barstool, him claiming they're a face-to-face content organization, like that means conflict. Sorry, that means that like when something happens, like they just address it. Everything is content. Dave has said that forever. Everything is content. Everything's fair game. Dave will read your DMs. He'll read your stories on a massive podcast live, like he did with the Unnamed Show when he called out Fat Perez for sending that message, saying that aren't you happy that we put it on Bob Does Sports Channel or whatever for that first episode. Like he will just, everything's fair game for Dave. He'll do like employee salary negotiations live on air. Like he does crazy stuff. But that's what Barstool is. And if you're part of it, you know it and you understand that. The funny delta that happened with the Internet Invitational is you had people, you can so tell that like, oh yeah, I know what Barstool is. I know what Dave is. Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But like they didn't actually, I don't even want to say do their research because like you can't really even like cram for this test. Like I've been watching Barstool since the pandemic. Dave's unboxings are like what really got me like into the Barstool universe. Before that, I had watched a bit of Foreplay when I started getting into golf, but like or actually I had been getting into golf at that point. That was 2020. So I hadn't even seen Foreplay yet. Never mind. I got into Foreplay after that in 2022 when I started golfing. Whatever. My point is I got super into Dave's unboxings and then kind of spiraled into the Barstool universe. And you know, having had that time, you learn to understand what really happens and what really goes down and kind of what all this really means. And this is something that like these creators, a lot of them, the blue chip YouTube golf creators who aren't part of the Barstool universe, like don't watch it, don't whatever, they just didn't know what to expect. And again, this level of like face-to-face confrontation, like you saw it with Luke, he just had no idea. He was so deer in the headlights, and I think that's becoming more and more apparent over time. He just had no idea how to react to like Dave barking at him, giving this penalty, Whitney screaming at him. Like that's very Barstool, and like you can tell the YouTube golf fans are so offended by how Whitney reacted, but it's like that's just Barstool. That's just what it is. Like a lot of people don't like Barstool. That's fine. You might be one of them, but like that's just what it is. It's not like Whitney went out of pocket, completely out of character, something we've never seen before. It's like that was very a Barstool reaction. So that's what he means by this.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I've said this since we filmed and wrapped the Internet Invitational. People aren't even going to, this is going to be a bleep. Luke Kwan will be a non-factor in what people remember from the.
And so him saying that, by the time it's over, it just ramps up. This is the best thing we've ever done. Luke Kwan's going to be a non-factor. I really think that has to point to the fact that Luke Kwan did something that was an accident and then just responded poorly. The next person that creates this drama is going to do something intentional that will piss people off to a whole different level. They're going to do something that's like so slimy and schemy that it's going to be just like, okay, so anyway, and then also at the end saying everything comes up Dave Portnoy, I thought was really, really funny. But let's hop over to YouTube real quick. I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull up the Internet Invitational, the most recent episode, because in that we have just this really nice look here at the team list. Now I did this in my last video, but I have some new intel, so I'm gonna sort of do it again, but loop you in a bit more. So, actually, right here, shout out Brad Dalkey. I've been watching this series. I love it. The most insane round of my life. Brad trying to shoot 59 from every tee box. I just love watching Brad play good golf. Brad is such a stick golfer. He like showed out here. Best golfer at this event. Wasn't even close. Like he performed so well. Yeah, shout out to Brad. Anyway, Brad's team, Team Orange. Now, this team is up. Again, spoiler, I guess if you haven't finished this episode, I'm going to be talking about it, but this was like 2-3 days ago now. It's got 2.5 million views, so spoiler, but whatever. Team Orange is up 4-2 finishing that day. There was the chance that they could be 4-3. Oh, wait, no. Pink is up 4-2. Hang on, let me go check. Yeah, sorry, Pink is up 4-2. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Pink is up 4-2. So Team Orange is going to have to pull out something crazy to get flipped. But I said this in my last video. Sorry, that's why I got confused. It's because I believe that Team Orange is going to be able to flip the script. I believe Team Orange is going to be able to flip the script because we know, I've heard from so many different people that we have these two massive things coming, Dave teasing it, whatever. I just don't see it coming from Team Pink. I just don't see Team Pink having the people, the characters, to get that juice to have that level of excitement. But if we look at Team Orange, I said this in my last video, there are people. There's Paige, there's Micah, there's DOD, maybe even Bubby, Francis for sure, Frankie, you never know. There are people on that team that I think could have some big blow up drama. But now, what I wanted to talk to you about, what I wanted to unveil, that I said in my last video when I reacted to Paige's thing, that I thought maybe she might be involved in some of that drama, because, you know, it's kind of like, I almost felt like maybe she was trying to get ahead of stuff a little bit. She was talking about the hate comments. She was all upset with them, understandably so. And it felt like maybe she was trying to get ahead of it. So I still stand by that. I think Paige and, you know, little chirp, chirp, little bird, bird, chirp, chirps, that, you know, there might be some involvement there. And I think that, to me, again, this almost might be like it's not a spoiler because I genuinely don't know what happened. All these people signed NDAs. I promise nobody is actually telling me what the results of this event were. But, like, it's not even just people in the event. I'm just hearing this from all over the space. But so this isn't a spoiler because it's not confirmed, but it might be a spoiler because I really firmly believe it, that Team Orange is going to flip the script in the next episode, part 2, and they're going to come out on top. I believe that because I really think Paige is involved in some level in this next drama, whether it starts in the next episode and carries over. Maybe she's not on screen, because that's the other reality. The person who's like involved in this next blow up, they don't necessarily have to be playing still. They could just be there. It could be carryover, whatever. But Paige, and then that chirpity chirp chirp that I've heard actually from a couple different people. I've heard this from a couple different people. Is that the big one? So there's two. One of them is like bigger than Luquan, but like meh. But then there's one apparently that is just going to blow all of our minds and just be so huge and so crazy. I have heard that that one comes from somebody that you would never expect it to come from. I've heard that from multiple people. Never expect it to come from. I mean, literally, I just nuts. Ever since I put out that last video like a day or two ago, I've had conversations, like I said, multiple people have hinted towards that, like, you would never see it coming from. So that just, like, it makes my brain go nuts, because it's like, okay, maybe there's a chance Team Pink stays on top. Maybe if Paige is involved in a little bit more drama, she's just, like, doing it from, like, it isn't her team playing anymore and whatever, and she's just, like, there on the background and, like, still involved in it, but Team Pink is actually the one that advances, because the biggest one being from someone you would never expect. Like, there's no one on Team Pink that I would really expect to be behind, like, a massive ground shaking bigger than Luke Kwan. Like, what did Dave say? Like, one of the biggest things they've ever done, one of the craziest things that's ever happened, that he's ever got going, like, everything coming up, Dave Portnoy, like, he is hyping this thing up, and, like, people are like, oh, well, obviously he's hyping up its own thing. It's not really. Like, it is, but, like, Dave's just a part of this. Like, it's not as big probably to him as, like, Surviving Barstool, even, like, the Ryder Cup, like, a bunch of stuff that's, like, purely internal Barstool. Like, this is bigging up, like, a bunch of other platforms. Like, yeah, Foreplay's part of Barstool, but it's kind of its own entity. Bob to Sports isn't part of Barstool at all. Yeah, they have this joint venture and then an Invitational, but, like, my point is I think Dave is being genuine here. I think Dave really believes that this is one of the craziest things they've ever done at Barstool. So then all of that being done by somebody who you would never expect it to be done by. It's just like, we look at, like, what is George Bryan gonna do? Like, what is George Bryan about to do? Like, I can't, like, Cole Lance? Like, is Cole Lance about to be the center of YouTube drama? Like, I don't see that coming. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I don't have any guesses as to who it would be, because it's supposed to be someone we just don't expect. Like, Brad Dalkey, like, there's no way. Like, Peter Finch, there's no way. Like, Melosi, there's no way. Like, it's like, I don't know. I know it's going to blow all our minds, and I'm very excited about it, but I just wanted to share that with you because I thought those were, like, really important nuggets. Really good things to kind of keep us all foaming at the mouth for these next few episodes. I see lots of comments from you guys that I'm getting you all excited for these episodes, and that's great. Honestly, it's a byproduct of me just being excited for these episodes. Like, I'm just genuinely so excited to see what's going to happen in these videos, to see how these are going to keep evolving, keep growing, like what the next twists and turns are going to be. I'm excited for Thursday, but boy, my mouth is watering for next week, Monday and Thursday. So stay tuned to the channel. Constant updates coming. Always, you guys know I got you. I love you. I love being back. I love creating this content for you. I just love YouTube Golf so much, and I'm so honored that I get to be, you know, the main voice in this space, kind of communicating this stuff with you guys and having this dialogue and giving you guys a little community forum in the comments, and it's just awesome, man. I'm loving this. So comment your thoughts down below. Have a great day. Bye-bye.